thank you everybody for being with us today. It's a real pleasure to be with you again on this webinar. Today we're going to talk about Brittany. So last week it was about the outdoors activities, and before about Normandy. And today it's about Brittany. You will see we will have a lot of things to say. But before that, let me just introduce myself for the one who didn't know me. I'm Naël. I'm an experience designer at Découverte. I'm working there since almost 1 year. No, since more than 1 year, in fact. And just to introduce quickly how we work, is because it's very important to know what you can expect from us and what we do as an experience designer and in Découverte in general. So we are 9 experience designers in the team. Each morning, we discuss the request that you're going to send us during the night. And you will have one dedicated experience designer after the big brainstorming we do. And we all discuss all the requests together in order to give you the best ideas and the best inputs. Because, for example, we've got in the team Emily, which is the best in the wine industry. We've got Clara, which is the best for the hotels. And me, personally, I'm the best for the ski slopes in the Alps, but not today because in Brittany, there is no ski resort. Maybe cut me if I'm wrong, Gwenaël, but I think there is not.
No. I think the highest mountain will be 1,200 feet. So
Yeah.
it's not going to be good enough.
So that's why it's important to have a lot of inputs from the 9 brains we have in the team. And after this big brainstorming, you're going to have one experience designer dedicated just to you. And we will create together the best trip possible for your clients. And after the booking, the trip will go in 2 directions. One with the agent of operation, we're going to book everything, and after to the customer care department, and they will be the person in charge for everything. They will be at your entire disposal from the moment of the booking until the moment that the clients leave France. So it's really important to know that if you book a trip with us, you're going to be in good hands, and you're going to have a lot of people behind it to create with you the best possible experience. So before starting, let me quickly show you the Découverte website. So on it, you will see a lot of things. You can see the experiences that we do. You can see a lot of hotels we work with, like the best hotel in France. Villas, if you are looking for villas, because like I told you, we are a full services company. We are operating throughout France and Corsica, and we do everything from the meet and greet to the full day tour to the hotel. So we do totally everything. And if you want to find the webinars, you can go to here resources and to university, and you will be in the Découverte University, and here you can find all the webinars. So Discover Normandy, it was the last one with me. The jewels of the Loire Valley, for example, or the culinary wine experience in Paris, in Burgundy. It was with Clara, an experience designer, and Bertrand. So you can find everything here, and you can view all the products. So here is France, and today we're going to talk about Brittany. So I'm going to quickly zoom to show you where it is. So here is France in the middle of Europe. And on the west part, here, this is Brittany. And today, we're going to go from 3 main areas. So from the Emerald Coast, which is this way on the north of Brittany. After, we're going to go to the south of Brittany here, near the Gulf of the Morbihan. And after, we will go to the west part, like the end of France and of the world almost. We're going to go to the Finistère. So this is here. So I have talked a lot, but now, Gwenaël, if you want to introduce yourself, feel free.
Thank you everyone, and we're happy to actually be able to meet you and present you Brittany. My name is Gwenaël, which is literally from Brittany, and I've been a guide here for over a decade, so I'm happy to share experiences that you can discover with Découverte into a region which is, I would say, still a little bit outside of the usual trips. It's off the beaten path, and this is where your clients will find a lot more intimacy, nature, of course, gastronomy, difference, and a lot of butter.
Yeah, and that's so good.
Yes, it is. Yeah, so we're gonna be trying to present you we selected three locations, which can be either seen independently or all together. Knowing that the first one, the Emerald Coast, it's actually close by from Normandy, so it's very easy to add on to an existing trip already. So the Emerald Coast first, it's as we say, the Corsair spirits, the privateers. So the first thing to know about Brittany is there's two elements. You are what we say, it's pointing toward the ocean, so it is surrounded by over 4,000 kilometers of coastline. If you look at it all together, so it's actually huge. That means you have a lot of small coves, which have been used over centuries for smuggling, for instance. You have so this beautiful coastline, and which present different traits depending of where you are at. And then you are the interior, the inlands, which is more something rural, so rolling hills and pastures, things that you can eventually find in Normandy. But the first thing you see here is Saint-Malo. And Saint-Malo, it's an incredible place. It's a former privateer city. As you see, walled off. Sometimes it remind me a little bit of Quebec, but of course with the sun. Uh,
Yes.
and it has been an important port. So a global port for centuries for France, turned toward the entire world. They were trading with West Indies, with South America, Central America, and you can find interesting influences. What we selected it as a first destination, it's because it offers you the possibility to do some gastronomy. You have a lot of cultural elements. Some people interested in the Second World War. There is also an incredible story here with a photographer named Lee Miller, which documented it. And we heard recently about her. There was a movie about her last year. So what you can see here is Surcouf, which is a quick anecdote. He was a French famous privateer, which one time ended up being caught up by a prisoner as a British, which said, "You French fight for money, while we British fight for honor." And Surcouf famously replied, "Sir, a man only fights for what he lacks." And so that I think that perfectly encapsulates Saint-Malo. And it's a city which is very independent-minded, that has been their own republic, and which share something in common with the U.S. Marine Corps is their motto, which is Semper here. So a great destination. And what is interesting about it, it's very easy to access from Paris. It's a couple of
Mhm.
hours away
Yeah.
from Paris as a train, and you find yourself in a completely different environment, as you can see now. On one hand, so you have this privateer city, and the picture you are actually seeing on the other side, here it's a small cove, Cancale, which is the oyster kingdom. Louis
Yeah.
XIV Fifth was getting oysters straight from here. And for the anecdotes, that's the reason why when we say we don't heat the oysters with a month without an hour, it's because, of course, they had to travel from Brittany to Paris on wagons. It would take days, so better not to have them in the sun. But
Yeah.
what you see here is one of the best oyster production locations of France. And you're going to be able for your clients to have them taste a oyster tray while sitting on the port. They even have a little wine truck. So it's not a food truck, it's a wine truck, so you can get your glass of champagne and be sitting on the dock while admiring this.
Yeah,
You can
doing
even see,
an oyster tasting there with the view on the sea, I think it's one of the best experience you can do in Brittany. I mean, it's like the totally Britain experience. Yeah.
yeah, this is what you need. A few oysters straight on the port. It's the best way to have them right here. So you had this, and then on the other side of Saint-Malo, so literally looking toward the other side of the estuary, we have the beautiful seaside resort of Dinard. As mentioned, the British Riviera, because this is a place where the aristocrats during the Belle Epoque decided to call it home or a second home, and they built a series of incredible locations. Even Winston Churchill was playing Sandcastle on the beach in Dinard as a child. So it's an interesting place. Altogether, very accessible within minutes of traveling from each other's. So you can get a great complement in between talking about the luxury of the late 19th century, the privateers of a couple of centuries before within the walls of Saint-Malo, and all that while enjoying the incredible food that you have here.
Hmm.
Um, I mentioned the
Yeah.
butter, and you have the one famous house called Bordier, which create their butter here, and it's something which is found on every nice tables in Paris, of course, the same butter. And
Hmm.
one of the other things is the crepes and the galettes. One of the things I usually joke around with my clients is that I said, look, if you look around without knowing, and you actually have probably a Britain guy making crepes in your city in the US within less than a few miles away from you without knowing it. The Britons, they're a bit like the Irish of the French. They're all over the planet. And when you
That's
see
true.
their
That's
flag,
true.
yeah, you can see it on the Central Park, on the big events. You will see the Brittany flag here displayed. It's almost a private joke among the
Hmm.
Britons.
But that's
And
true because I was traveling in Asia, I was traveling in Vietnam, and the first thing I found after the airport was a restaurant of crepes of a Britain guy, which was in Vietnam. So they are everywhere.
it's like a mafia
Yeah, it
almost.
is.
But yes, of course, you will enjoy a simple meal, but the savory buckwheat galettes, which are served as a family meal, and you can even actually make an experience or start in making them on your own, going to the
Hmm.
crepe academy, and then be able to do that as a family to create your own crepes and galettes and to enjoy the delicacies. Um, for the people who would like a more intimate experience, so Saint-Malo, being a privateer city, a fortified city, was defended by a series of forts built out of shore in incredible condition. And one of them offers to be privatized. And so you can have a candlelight dinner on the platform of the fort you can see at the moment in the slide. So
Hmm.
you can picture or imagine a fantastic blue lobster served or scallops, all that with a mushroom risotto served here with a nice white wine
Hmm.
directly
It's a
inside the fort.
very exclusive experience. Like it's a once in a lifetime experience to have. And if you are in Brittany, I think it's really the things to do.
And so, of course, being connected to the ocean, sailing is important. When you grow up on the coast in Brittany, you know how to read the watch, but you also have to know how to read the tides. We have some of the largest tides on the planet, just quickly after the Bay of Fundy in Canada. And so, what is amazing is you have the landscape change every 6 hours. You see something different, and being able to enjoy a sail ride, of course, it's perfect. And as you can see, one of the possibility we have in Saint-Malo is to actually go up on the boat to form a replica of a privateer, and then sail away and enjoy the coastline from with a beautiful view from there.
Hmm.
And of course, close by from Saint-Malo, one of the wonders that France can offer, it's the Mont Saint-Michel. Everyone have heard
Hmm.
about the Mont Saint-Michel. Many millions of people have experienced to go there, but what we can offer you today, it's to see it under something much more intimate, which is actually to climb through what we call l'escalier de dentelle. So it's a laces stairways, and be able to access to the roof of the Mont Saint Michel and
Hmm.
have an incredible view over the landscape around. This is something that can be done only in very small groups and under particular conditions. But again, for me, which is a
Hmm.
guide in the Mont Saint Michel, it's something which is always breathtaking. Anytime I've been able to do it.
And yeah, of course. And Gwenelle, I have a question because in France there is a big debate saying is Mont Saint Michel in Normandy or in Brittany? I want to have your your
Well,
truth.
I have to say, I have to be honest, it is in Normandy. It's the
Okay.
border, actually. If you look on the slide here, you can see the causeway at the bottom right corner. And that causeway is parallel to the river, which is the border. And we said that it used to be in Brittany, but the riverbed changed and eventually putting now the Mont Saint Michel in Normandy. But it's okay, we can share. We're happy
Yeah,
to
that's
visit a
perfect. And
neighboring
like this,
region.
we can speak about the Mont Saint Michel in the webinar about Brittany and in the webinar about Normandy. So yeah, it's nice like this.
Mm. And actually, from Saint-Malo, it's less than 1 hour away, so very easy to
Mhm.
to to walk through.
Yeah, Saint-Malo
And
is a real home base if you want to travel around North Brittany. It's really the place to stay.
absolutely, we'll see after the quality of the hotels you have here, but it's very
Hmm.
very nice.
Yes.
So to summarize the destination, of course, seafood. You have to come there with an empty stomach. because you're going to be enjoying the gastronomy, relatively simple gastronomy, but unique and absolutely tasteful
Mm,
here. And
yeah.
the accommodations, what you see here is it's a beautiful hotel. It sometimes makes me feel about a James Bond movie, the Castelbrac Hotel, that we can see
Yeah.
here, and with an incredible view from there.
Yeah, yeah. Castelbrac Hotel is like one of the most exclusive hotel we've got in Brittany. It's really on the other side of Saint-Malo. It's in Dinard, and you have a beautiful view of the harbor. It's beautiful, and you can see here from your room. You can have like the best view of Brittany. It's truly amazing. It's really once in a lifetime hotel to go. And the other one, so this one, the Grand Hôtel des Thermes, is in Saint-Malo, inside Saint-Malo. So it's not in front of Saint-Malo, it's really in the city center. And this one is also, you can see seafront, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's really nice when you are in Brittany, and in particular in Saint-Malo, to be close to the sea, because it's really what makes Brittany like it is. It's the sea.
Yeah, it's
And here you can
essential.
see the beautiful bar
And
of the
what
Grand
is
Hôtel des Thermes.
interesting is on the two pictures the slide you just put it, we had the ocean like straight to the hotel at first. And if you see here, you have to walk. So the beach here is really vast and very large. It's great for people who just want to enjoy a stroll. If you are with children, it's a very nice destination as well, because you're going to be able to combine. There is space for the family. As a young father, I can tell you it's a place my kids love to go to Saint Malo. And but if you are just with your loved one, it's also a really romantic destination.
Yeah, it's
um,
beautiful. And in the area, we've got a beautiful restaurant, two Michelin star, which is a coquillage. It's in Saint-Malo. It's in a small town, just like a few kilometers away. You've got
mm,
also the Bistrot de Cancale, where you can taste seafood, and Le Petit Port, where you can also taste seafood
mm.
and the Britain gastronomy. So now let's move on to the south. So we were in the north of Brittany, and now we're gonna go to the south, and you will see it's different. So here it's the Gulf of Morbihan.
Yes, so we traveled about a couple of hours south to find ourselves in what was labeled as one of the most beautiful Gulf of the world. I know it sounds a little bit chauvinistic. You have what we call the Little Sea, and here you can see a series of islands, a myriad of islands that exist within the Gulf. And the Gulf is extremely old. We have human presence here for millennials, as we will see in a few minutes. But this offers you a slightly different experience, which I absolutely love as well. You can be, as you can see, more sitting down into a small port on the dock and see the sailors coming and going, see them going away with the tide and then coming back into the Gulf here. So really a very pleasant destination. At the bottom of it, we have Vannes, which was a medieval residence of the dukes, but very close by, we start also to have megalith or megaliths, I'm not sure as we say in English, which are structures like here, the standing stones, which predate Stonehenge and the pyramids in Egypt
Mhm.
by thousands of years. It's a perfect place for questioning. When you look yourself, like you realize that we have a very small life when you go there and you see the alignment of stones. So this is just a couple of kilometers away from the sea, so you can be enjoying a leisurely stroll and then quickly back to see the megalith and have an evening, for example, in Vannes here. What you find in Vannes, it's a beautiful small walled city, which also have kept an interesting patrimony in terms of timbered houses, wooden facade with timbers and cob, as you can see here on the picture just on the left. So
Mhm.
very good place to stop over for a short shopping or eventually just for a leisure stroll around the ramparts.
And as you can see, the architecture is totally different from Saint-Malo. So that's why visiting Brittany, you need to spend a few more days than just like 2 days in Saint-Malo to really discover
Mm.
everything that Brittany can give.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We selected three locations, but honestly, we could have put it six or seven. It's a relatively big region. So, in terms of
Mhm.
transport, just from a pure logistical standpoint, each of the destination we have selected are 2 hours apart on driving
Mhm.
time. But it's good to spend 2 or 3 days per destination, I think, in my opinion, to enjoy it without rushing it too much.
Yeah, of course. And if you like, you can stay 1 month. There is plenty of things
Yeah.
to do.
Oh yeah, you could actually when you mentioned the villas earlier, you could eventually rent a villa on an island and then become yourself a captain of a ship. And
Of course.
we talked about the butter, but the reason the butter is so good in Brittany, first we have to admit it, it's because there is salt in it. And I know
Hmm.
it's not a shared thing all over France, but salted butter is the real thing. Um, and the reason why it's salted in Brittany is that Brittany used to be an independent region, and then part of the negotiation to incorporate it into France, the Princess of Brittany said that okay, fine, we'll become French eventually, but I'm going to ask for you for two things. We're going to have toll-free roads, so there is no highways with tolls in Brittany, and then there will not be tax on the salt that we call la gabelle, and it used to be something like that would resemble the VAT if you want nowadays, or a sales tax. And as a result, while in Normandy they had to pay the tax for the salt, they stopped salting their butter, and in Brittany we do. And the salt is a tradition which has been kept for millennial. The Romans already were farming salt in Brittany. It's one of the best one you can find on the planet because it's natural, dried out, so it's salted water dried out over time, and that is full of iodine, so very good for,
Hmm.
well, of course, in measures for your body. And thanks to the butter and the salt, we come to our little secret, the caramel, but not the particle one, the salted butter caramel. This is the one you have to lie about when you are going to see your cardiologist. You say you never
That's
came in
true.
contact with it. It's not great for your cardio, but it's great for you. It's very tasty, and you have to come and try one of our crepes with a salted butter for a nice French 4 o'clock on the coastline.
Hmm. Yeah, even if you already tried caramel, you need to try the caramel au beurre salé, which is totally different, and it will be like something you never taste.
The megalith, we talked about it. So there's two ways to do it, and thanks to Découverte, you're able to actually do more of a VIP experience. And this is a protected site because of the stomping. The access within it was limited, but it's possible to actually get a VIP visit and to be able yourself to be strolling through the stones with almost nobody on you, and it's a very limited experience. So in this case, you're able to enjoy that. Of course, we mentioned it already, the ocean, but sailing away from Vannes or from the Gulf of Morbihan, it's completely different from Saint-Malo. You lose the dramatic cliff, but what you see is a myriad of islands everywhere, and the entrance of the Gulf, very narrow, opens up completely on the Atlantic, and this is when you can feel free for a few hours while chartering a nice wooden sailing yachts. Um,
Yeah,
Brittany
and
is excellently.
if you are seasick, you can do it by on the air with an helicopter and to see the island. And
Absolutely.
that's a good way to see like the turquoise clear water from above and to see
Mhm.
like to really understand how much island there is in Brittany, in the Gulf of
Yeah,
Morbihan.
and then the helicopter ride on the southern coast of Brittany is breathtaking because you're gonna
Hmm.
see the landscape changing over from what looks like fjord, almost like in Norway, a myriad of islands, open beach, and beautiful colors. And
Yeah.
because of this kind of connection to nature, Brittany has put the accent recently on well-being. So Yves Rocher, for example, you have a spa, which is Yves Rocher, it's a French brand. And then you have you really are here to relax. Perfect contrast, for example, with experiencing Paris. If you want some
Hmm.
quietness after Paris, you can actually take a ride to Brittany and live on a much slower pace for a few days and
Yeah,
reconnect.
so the Yves Rocher Spa is in the La Crée des Landes Hotel. It's halfway between Rennes and Vannes, so it's very accessible from Paris if you want to disconnect and to do like a small trip in the countryside.
And so the hotels, you have access, of course, to some beautiful location. A lot of them are small size hotel, I would say boutique almost,
Yeah,
for something pretty intimate here. And then
yeah,
oh, sorry, excuse me.
yeah. Everything is about relaxation, and intimacy. It's not like a big resort. It's gonna be in a castle or in a small mansion, and you will feel like at home. And that's like the feeling of Brittany. So you can see
And
here Domaine de la Bretèche, which is a beautiful five-star hotel. And before you can have see the Domaine Le Maison, which is a four-star hotel. Now I'm just gonna quickly talk about the restaurant because we need to speak about the Finistère and the time is running fast. But we got Le Pressoir, which is a Michelin star hotel. You can have also l'Annexe or Le Corlazo, where you can have like traditional Britain food with a beautiful view on the port. And now we can
yes,
move to the South Finistère.
and then already you see among the slides that Nael is displaying, we are looking at different landscape, and this one for me express what the Finistère is about. Finistère comes from Latin actually, Finisterae, the end of the world. So it's literally what you mentioned already earlier. This is the as further as the Finistère, there is nothing but the United States on the other side. So you are at the end of the world. This is a place where you get humbled by the ocean when you see the waves crash upon the sea lighthouse, when you are standing on those cliffs, it's actually absolutely stunning and breathtaking. In my opinion, it's also a place where I've experienced some of the nicest sunsets.
It
Um,
is. It is.
because you're at the end of the world and you see that gently fall down on the ocean. So it's an incredible locations. The Finistère has two locations, so the southwest and the northwest, where we see here the display of the fortified city of Brest, a city which was heavily impacted in the Second World War, but a good entry point for venturing around into much smaller destinations and breathtaking cliff sides. The Finistère, interestingly, was also a painter's getaway in the same way as Normandy kind of been for the Impressionists. Paul Gauguin and many American actually painters hopped on a train and started to venture south, and notably in a small village of Pont-Aven, which is an incredible little village surrounding, well, which is going alongside a small river and with very artsy. So you'll find multiple galleries here, art galleries, and an excellent museum, excellent painting museum. You
Yeah, you can
have
see the painting on the screen.
and so a great destination, and you can combine that. You are minutes away from some of the most breathtaking coves, so it's great. You can eventually have an artsy experience in the morning and then decide to go over the on the coastline to enjoy some nice seafood like langoustine facing the water. And this is the secret here. What you're looking at right now, it's the happy accident in
Yeah.
the 18th. A baker was trying to save a failed bread dough by folding in massive amount of butter and sugar, and I think the New York Times called it the fattiest pastry in all of Europe and the most delicious. I
Yeah.
have to say that this is actually excellent, but if you do have too much of it, your arteries will remind it to you right away. Uh,
That's true.
yeah, but it is excellent. Not, once in a time, when it's once every any every now and then, but not too much of it.
And it's
Um,
made from butter. So, like we were saying, everything is connected to butter in Brittany. For example, I show on the screen the city of Quimper, and in Quimper, there is the square of the butter. I went there and I was very okay. There is like a lot of shops and crepes restaurant on the square of the butter, and that's amazing.
you can smell it sometime when you come in at
Yeah,
lunchtime and you walk in the streets, you can actually smell the butter,
yeah.
like here. And so, yes, that's my favorite seafood here that you're displayed, what we nickname in French les demoiselles, and then the langoustine, which are fished in the southwest of Brittany. And so you are able to enjoy some of the freshest seafood uh, while directly on the ports. Interesting landscape. I say we can almost sometimes lie about the weather. And you have in the southwest of Brittany, stunning landscape with, as you can see here, sometimes some of the parts that get nicknamed the Tahiti part. It's a little closer from France for us. It's easier to go to, and So Brittany, in Quimper, notably, there was an interesting thing. It's craftsmanship about porcelain, which was mastered here, and you can find a lot of famous porcelain painted and displayed in many traditional families, but also around the world. This is one of our product exported, and they make some very high-end porcelains in the manufacture of Ario at Quimper, in
But this
Quimper.
one is not made with butter. We need to
No,
precise.
yeah, no, not made with butter, exactly. Again, the helicopter flyover, which opens a new dimension for you, and especially at this end of the world when you realize you are flying over the some of the sharpest dip into the oceans, and you have the lighthouse. There's fantastic pictures taken in the winter of the lighthouse, which seems crushed by enormous waves. And so when you fly over on a nice day, you see those isolated lighthouse. This is a very important waterway, very dangerous actually for the sailors, so which explain the reason why you have a lot of safety measure put it around. But absolutely incredibles. Most of those
Mhm.
lighthouse nowadays are automatic, but for you can have an incredible, so the guides will be able to mention the stories, incredible stories of the lighthouse and the people that had to actually go there and spend a month at a time in some of the roughest conditions to appreciate it.
Yeah, and from above you can see like the crystal clear water. This place is like the Finistère. It's a place where there was like I think it was the most beautiful beach of France, which is called the Notre Dame Beach. No, if I'm right. No,
Yeah,
not
you
not
have,
Notre Dame. It was in Crozon, Presqu'île.
yeah, and then I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, no, you have they are intimate, and again, this is really not, even if you want to experience, you like to walk to the beach, and then you will not experience a crammed up
Hmm.
locations. There will always be space for you. That's the
Yeah.
interesting thing, with a sense of freedom. There is Brittany being a bit of the beaten path, you don't feel restrained as a tourist. You can enjoy and have a lot of place for you. As we mentioned before, you have some pretty intimate locations to stay over.
Yeah, so such as le Moulin du Duc. You have also l'Hôtel de la Plage, which is a beautiful four-star hotel. It's really intimate and you're next to the sea. And you also have got a good restaurants such as Les Trois Rochers, which is a Michelin star restaurant, or le Café des Halles in Quimper, and also small restaurants but with great food and great atmosphere, such as Chez Jacqueline, Maison de Noblé. So yeah, we have a lot of things to say about Brittany. I think we should have maybe do do like 1 hour more about Brittany because we can talk about a lot of things. But if you have any question, feel free to ask. And yeah, if you want to add something, Gwenaël, feel free to.
No, but we would be happy. I would be happy to make you discover this region, and even if you are very familiar with France, that actually is something that could surprise you if you have not been there. And in my opinion, it's always a great place to contrast with like a very busy and Paris time, and you can just
Mhm.
hop on a train and then all of a sudden be in a completely different environment. Having spent a bit of time in the US, it's like sometimes I describe Brittany to my clients as it's like Maine, but with the sun. Sorry for the people living in Maine. I know it's a beautiful location you have, but
But
you
you're
will
right. I
find
think you're right.
it's something of this nature. Rocky battered shore, intimate locations. So I really wish you to be able to come over and enjoy, and but just lie to your cardiologist before you show up. Okay, said you never been there.
Yes. Yes. And don't try to take butter on the plane. It will, yeah, it will
Mm.
melt.
Yeah. No, you can enjoy the seafood and the delicacies here, and then just bring the memory back. It will be great.
We have a few questions if you're okay. What is the recommended transportations between the different locations? Should the client rent a car or?
We
So
can
it
do both.
depends.
Mhm.
If
Yeah, we
the if
can.
the if the clients, I would say, decide to select several destinations, I would recommend to be with a driver guide. or rent a car if they want to hop from one place to one another. And to reach out Brittany from Paris or from the main airport, the train. We have a very fast train, such as going to Bordeaux. And I believe there is directly from Charles de Gaulle Airport to Rennes. So it's a very good place to start with.
Yes.
Okay, next question. Would Brittany be a year-round destination? And what is the weather like in December, January?
So no, this is where I'm gonna have to be honest. We'll have to wait for 10 more years of global warming. But no, I would say a bit like Normandy. The weather, it's pretty mild all year long, but the winter tend to be humid and rainy. So I would avoid December, January, February. February is nice for a weekend if you are like, going for a well-being time. You're gonna find yourself on an empty beach and be able to enjoy sauna and hammam and then the nice coziness of the warmth. But it's an outdoor destination mainly, so I would recommend spring and fall.
Yes, totally agree with you, and that's the best time to discover Brittany.
All right, so you already said that it's possible to come from Paris with a train, but someone is asking if it's also possible to come from Normandy, and if Brittany can be combined with a Bordeaux region trip.
Of course, it can be. You can arrive in Normandy and you can go to Mont Saint-Michel and after to Saint-Malo. It starts Brittany from Saint-Malo because like Saint-Malo is one of the gates of Brittany. So yeah, you can you can come from the north and you can also come from the south and you can do beautiful stops on the way.
Okay, for the person who would not like to drive or rent a car, someone is asking how reliable is the public transportation?
I would say it's good within cities. So the train system is excellent in Brittany and functions well, but you will very easily be restrained by limits because a lot of the beauty are a little bit hidden gems. So you need to drive to get there. So if for the city escape, it's fine. The train is very good, but I wouldn't recommend the public transportation to go and venture a little bit further in the region because you're going to have too many restraints. It's not an overly populated region, so the public transport is not well developed outside the cities.
Yes, I think it's better if you come from Paris by train, by TGV train, high-speed train to Rennes, and after you rent a car or you have a guide driver with you because you will. If you go by if you want to stay in the train in Brittany, you will miss a lot of place.
Okay, thank you. Someone else is asking if it's a good region for children or if it's more adult-oriented.
I would say both. Honestly, it's a great place for children in a sense that first they're going to be very welcome. The Britain, it's always a stereotype, but I would say the attitude is very laid back here. So when you're going to be in the restaurants, the approach to the client, it's very laid back. And so the children will feel right at home and there is a lot of space. So they will be able to enjoy, to run, to make the noise. So that's a place which is perfect. And as I said, it's also a very beautiful, like a couple excursions to find yourself again. And you have such a beautiful spots where you can have memories as adults. But I would say it's very good for both.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have Sarah that is asking if we offer farm trips in the region.
So we don't have any farm trips in Brittany planned yet, but it's a possibility for the next years. So if you are interested, you can send us an email at reservation@découverte.fr. And if we create one, we will write you, but maybe in the coming years. Not yet, but I think we should do it because it's a beautiful place.
Okay, thank you, Nael. Next, we have Laura asking if there are 5 stars hotel in Saint-Malo.
Yeah, there is. So there is Castelbrac, which is not in Saint-Malo, but it's almost in Saint-Malo. It's just near. You just cross, like it's not the river, but you just cross the beach, and you are at the hotel. And there is also the Grand Hotel des Thermes, which, in my memory, is a 5-star hotel.
Okay, sorry, go on.
No, go ahead. Excuse me.
We have someone asking if it's possible to stay on the Mont Saint-Michel.
Yeah, it's totally possible. So the accommodation inside the Mont Saint-Michel is not a five-star experience, but it's possible. We usually recommend staying like in a beautiful place such as l'Hermitage, which is not inside the Mont Saint-Michel, but if you want to do it, it's possible.
Okay, and lastly, we have two questions that I think you can answer together. How many days would you suggest spending in the region, and what is the best way to experience Mont Saint-Michel for a few days?
So how many days you would say? So first for the Mont Saint-Michel to experience it, if you want to do the whole thing, really, the different experience you can have in the Mont Saint-Michel is first, you can cross the bay on foot if you are someone who like hiking. You need to be with the company of a certified guide, but this is actually almost reenacting the pilgrim's experience. You have the visit, as we mentioned with Nael, and notably with the exclusive experience to go where most of the tourists cannot, and you are going to be discovering some hidden sites. So I would say a full day excursion, so maybe a couple of days in the Mont Saint-Michel if you want to enjoy it casually. I think that would be enough, personally.
Yes, totally agree. And it's really important to be with a guide, like Gwenel said, because there is a lot of quicksands in the Bay of Mont Saint-Michel. So that's the importance of the guide.
And last question, would you recommend time in Rennes?
Depending. Rennes, it's a nice city which is evolving extremely rapidly, but it comes in contrast with the rest of the proposal because Brittany will be more intimate, smaller town. So when you arrive in Rennes, it's big city fun. It's a big city feeling already, which has a nice city center. What I would recommend eventually is maybe one night. So arriving, taking the time in the hotel, and eventually going on a small trip within the center and with an experience, but not much more.
Okay, so we have no more questions. I just want to specify that the replay for this webinar will be sent next week and will be published on the university, as Niall said previously.
Yes, and if you have any question or any request for Brittany or any other part of France, feel free to send us an email at reservation@découverte.fr. It will be a pleasure to work with you. So you're going to have the whole experience designer team and the customer care team with you. And thank you, Gwenaëlle, for all your knowledges about Brittany. It was amazing, and I'm sure everybody have learned a lot of things about this beautiful region.
Yeah, well, thank you, everyone, and I wish to see you there soon, or wish you to see your client. And thank you very much, Naël and Découverte. So I wish you a great rest of the day.
Thank you very much.